Hello learners, welcome to this session of BLS online program. We will be discussing course 3 BLI 223 Organizing and Managing Information. You know, whenever you talk of a library and information center, we talk of information. A library has information and information. It deals with information, it disseminates information, it provides information, it collects information. So, in a library, you are all the time handling information, you are dealing with information. So, you should be an expert in knowing this information. You should be an expert in distinguishing between different kinds of information. When I talk information, I mean to say not only information per se, but I also intend to include in that the information carriers. There are different information carriers: book, magazine, newspaper, a video, an audio. You can think of anything: a thesis, a dissertation, a paper, an article. You can add to the list on and on to any extent. So, when we work in a library and information center, we are all the time aware, we all the time look here and there for information that may be of use to my user, and I try to access that information. I try to, once having accessed that information, I try to organize that information. I put it in a particular order, I classify it, I organize it, I index it, I arrange it. If it is a full micro document, a full macro document, I put it as a physical existent. It could be in shelves, in stacks. I also have their copies in the form of surrogates. Surrogate mean I have representatives of these documents in the form of catalog cards, in the form of entries, in the form of bibliographies, in the form of reading lists. We will be discussing all these in the session today, because our session today is library catalog and cataloging. In the earlier sessions, we have discussed classification, we have discussed library classification. Today, in this session, we will be talking about cataloging, library cataloging. Again, when I talk of cataloging, I would like to tell you here that library cataloging does not pertain only to cataloging in this discipline of library information science. Cataloging is done in different fields of life, because catalog is a resource tool. It is a form of a key to the holdings of any repository. It is something that we keep as a record, as an inventory. Like if I am working in a godown and I have a number of things in the godown, I would like to have an inventory to the godown. At home also, at times we make inventory to the things that we have. While we are in transit, we all the time tend to make an inventory. So catalog means we tend to have a record of all the things at a particular place and time, and we keep on updating this inventory so as to keep ourselves updated on all that we have with us. So why not in a library where we have so many things? And particularly when we talk of things in a library, it is different kinds of documents. It is information which could be useful for our users. Therefore, not only documents per se, not only names of documents and characteristics of documents, but also characteristic of this information. Because while we are working in libraries and there is a person who is in need of some information, we cannot tell the user, you may have this information in this document, that document. No, that cannot be answer. The answer has to be, have this information. Information that you want is this. We need to provide exact information that the user wants. We these days in libraries tend to provide customized information, ready-made information, tailor-made information. Then only our user will be satisfied. Our user will be able to use that information. We have to provide the user ready-made information the way the user wants. The information may have to be processed. So how it is all done, we'll be discussing in these different classes and sessions of processing and managing information in this course BLI 223, organizing and managing information. And in that, library cataloging is one of the important components. We'll begin with how we catalog in our life otherwise. Like here on your screen you see it is a catalog. It is a catalog of a garment shop or a garment manufacturing unit, selling unit, and you see on the screen that the products of this garment manufacturing or selling unit, you see the pictures of these and a description of these documents. And this is nothing new, you all know that we have these provided to us so that we are able to select the garment that we require. And this is a example of a catalog. Another example of a catalog, this is a menu card of a restaurant, of a hotel, wherein we see that all these dishes have been described and their rates have been given. So the purpose of the institution here, that is the hotel, is that they want to inform their customers about what all they have for them and what are the characteristics of these dishes in brief and also their prices. So this is the another example of a catalog. Our catalog in a library is a little different, but then I will take you along these. So a catalog, if we try to think of terms that are related to a catalog, is it's a list, it's a contents list. When we talk of a library catalog, it is much more than that, but when we think of a catalog, these terms come to our mind. A list, a contents list, an inventory, an index, a bibliography, a reference, a number of references. So we will talk about these one by one in detail so that we are able to see how similar or different all these are from a library catalog. You see here a table of contents. You know, every book, every magazine, every chapter has contents before it. It is in the beginning, and the purpose of such list of contents is that the reader should know what is there inside, what the person is going to read when the person flips through the pages of the article, of the magazine, of the book, of the thesis, of the dissertation. It could be anything. Even in case of documents which are in video or audio forms, you may have this in the beginning, or it could take a different form, but then we tend to provide the table of contents to introduce the thing. Similarly, at the end of the document, you find an index, and you see here an example of an index from a document, and you find the terms have been listed, and on the opposite side of the terms you find some numbers have been given. These are the page numbers that provide the location of these terms in these documents. So the user finds it easy to reach that concept. One is able to search, one is able to know about that concept when the person reaches those page numbers or those locations. So this gives an indication that in an index, you need to provide not only the list of concepts but also their location, because otherwise the purpose is not served. So what is the purpose of a catalog is that one should be able to guide the user to where the user wants to reach. Even in those primitive catalogs that we have seen in the earlier pictures, the institution, that is a hotel or a manufacturing unit, is trying to impress upon the user by providing details of the products that they are offering, the characteristics of those products, and also they provide the price, because their purpose is to sell them, and they often give the price to show how competitive they are, at what competitive rates they are providing the things. So the purpose of catalog is this. Bibliography, slightly different from a catalog, but belonging to the same category, and the difference is that bibliography is appended at the end of a chapter or end of a book, but again it is also a list. It is also a listing of the books, or maybe articles, or maybe any other information that could be of use. It could be information on a website, maybe on a portal, maybe electronic information, digital information, maybe information in print, and you provide details about that information, who has authored that information, what is the title of that information, where does it exist, how much it is in length, by giving the pages and all. So why we give all this information? Because we want to inform our user what this information is, what it does not have, because by providing these details we are able to also say that this excludes this. That is, we tend to provide the subject or something else about this while arranging them, and therefore we provide them headings also at times. But in a bibliography, since it is appended to the chapter or the document, one is quite clear, yes, this relates to this document. At times bibliographies exist independently also. A bibliography may not always be at the end of a chapter or at the end of a book, it could exist independently also. Like you will find bibliographies on themes and topics that are of interest, that may be a requirement of users, and such bibliographies exist independently, but these bibliographies are also limited from the point of view of maybe these could be bibliography of works by an author, or bibliography on a particular subject, or bibliography in a particular language. So the purpose of all these different types of documents that belong to the same class as a library catalog is that they inform the users about the information that exists around. These are references, again related to a catalog, but there is a slight difference between a bibliography and a reference. The bibliography is generally provided at the end of books and chapters and independently, but gives reference to whole documents, which we call as macro documents. Like it could be a whole book or a journal or any other such piece of information. But when you talk of a reference, it could be a reference to an article, to part of an article. So reference is given to a micro document and bibliography is given for a full document. So this is how there are different tools that have been created by library information science professionals to help people to gather information, to gain knowledge, to gain information. Now let us come to a library catalog. As the name suggests, this catalog is limited to a library. If it is a catalog for more than two or more than two libraries, it is called a union catalog. But when it pertains to a library, it is called a library catalog. If it pertains to a library and provides access to the resources of a library and it is online in nature, it is called a online public access catalog, OPAC. Now what is a library catalog? In general terms, it is a key to the holdings of a library. As we have been saying that we have given examples of different situations where there are a large number of things and we need to know what all is there with us we prepare a key to the things, and similarly in a library also we prepare a key to the holdings of a library. What all is there in the library? That could be a list, as we have been saying, but catalog is more than a list. As we say, it is the inventory of the library. It is list of the holdings of a library. We also say it is arrangement of holdings in a particular order. This is a little ahead of what we have been saying. When you say a list, when you say an inventory, it could be just listing each and every document in the library. I would like to clarify what is a document. A document is a generic term that could be denoting a book, a magazine, a periodical, a newspaper. That means a source of information that is documented. If this discussion that we are having here is recorded, it becomes a document. If it is not recorded, then it's not a document. So there are different types of documents in a library. Therefore, we prepare a key or list of holdings of all these documents, and that is called a library catalog. But I again caution you that a library catalog is more than a list. It is something in addition to just listing all these resources in a library, and that is why the last statement here is it is arrangement of the holdings in a particular order. So this is also takes care of, the library catalog takes care of this fact that this is arranged in a particular order, because we need to inform our users about all these holdings. Now, why do we need a library catalog? It's a very simple question, because on our past experience of seeing why a catalog is required, it is because the large number of things are there, and these things are ever increasing, and they are in different variety, different forms, different formats. And it is very true of a library. We have just said these could be books, these could be dissertations, theses, magazines, and what not. And these also on different subjects, by different authors, at different levels, in different languages, in different forms and formats. So see how the variety is added to all this that is available in a library. Then you will say, library classification takes care of that. Why do you need a library catalog? You know, library catalog and classification share a symbiotic relation. They help each other. They do what the other cannot do in a particular situation. So what library classification cannot do, library cataloging does. Just I give you a situation that you go and try to find a book in the library, and you go to the stacks, you say that the book is not there in the stack. Will you be sure whether the book is owned by the library or not? You will not be sure. You may say, yes, it may or may not be owned by the library, because the book not being here in the stacks does not ensure, yes, it was there, it has been issued, or it has been misplaced. But if you see a catalog, you can be very sure whether the library owns this book or not. So where library classification fails, library catalog comes to our rescue. Similarly, a library has a huge collection of books. One can never be sure what all is there. Accidentally or by chance, you may land at the place where your particular book or document is placed. But it is a catalog through which we can always reach to the stack, we can always reach the exact place, besides being sure, yes, it is there in the library. Further adding to that, these days when we are talking of automated libraries, we are talking of computerized catalogs, we are talking of online public access catalogs, we can come to know the exact situation of that book. Where is it placed in the library? What is its place? What is its position related to other books? What is its position as far as its issue and return is concerned? to whom it has been issued, when it is expected to be returned back. This is the beauty of a library catalog. How many copies of that book are in the library? If the book is not right now in the place where it is supposed to be, where it is? Is it in the bindery? Has it been withdrawn? All this we come to know from a library catalog. So, library catalog is such a useful and important tool. So, what is the purpose of a library catalog? The purpose of a library catalog is to make known to the readers what is available in the library. If we go further into this, we would like to mention here the objectives of a catalog, of a library catalog, that have been given by Charles Ammi Cutter, given long back in 1876. These even hold good today. That shows the thinking of Cutter, that what he thought of the objectives of a library catalog still hold to today. I read out verbatim from what he said. The objectives are to enable a person to find a book of which the author or the title or the subject is known. I want a book by a particular author. I want Prolegomena to Library Classification by S.R. Ranganathan. So, I want a book by S.R. Ranganathan. I know the author. The catalog will help me. It is the objective of the catalog to help me. I want a book which has a title Prolegomena to Library Classification. The title is known to me. The objective of the library catalog is to help me. If I know the title, it should help me to locate the book. I know the subject of the book. The subject of the book is library classification. The objective of library catalog is to help me to reach the book. Seen from a different point of view, I am not looking for a particular book. I am not looking for a particular book by a particular author on a particular title in a particular subject. Still, the library catalog should help me. Then why have I gone to the library catalog or the library? I am not sure, but I still want some book. That means the library catalog should tell me books by different authors or a particular author on a particular subject in a particular kind of literature. Because I may be needing to have some serious reading in that particular area. I want an introductory book in that area. I want a treatise in that area. I want poetry in that area. I want drama, fiction. So, I want a particular type of literature. I am looking for a standard in that area. I am looking for a bibliography in that area. The library catalog should help me to locate literature from different angles, from author, from subject, from title, from the type of literature. Further going into the objectives given by Cutter, the library catalog should also assist in the choice of a book as to its edition by describing the work adequately for easy identification. That means the book is available in different editions. It began long back, until now 15 editions are available. Generally, I would like to have the latest edition, but at times I would like to lay my hands on earlier editions also. So, the library catalog should tell me that what all editions are available in this book and whether these are here in the library or not. So, such is the power of a library catalog, and it should also help me to know the character of that book. As I said, the level, the type of literature, the character of that book should also be known to me, and that is an objective of library catalog. Now, let us go further more or less they are around the same, but different authorities in cataloging have given objectives of a library catalog. The father of library and information science in India, Shiali Ramamita Ranganathan, has also given objectives of a library catalog, and he states, the catalog, is there a book by an author in the library? This question should be answered by the catalog. That means I want a book by S.R. Ranganathan, I search for it, the catalog should be able to answer it. What are all the books by the author in the library? I would like to know not one but all books written by S.R. Ranganathan. Does the catalog help me? This is a test to see the catalog, and this should be answered by the catalog. This is an objective of a catalog. Is there a book in the library on a particular title? I just want a book on a particular title. I want to know how many books are there on glaciers in the library. The catalog should help me in this. Is there a book in the library by a particular editor, by a particular translator, by a particular reviser or a compiler? Is there a book on a particular subject? Is there a book in the library on a particular series? You know, at times books come with a series also, and the series is meant to relate all such books together. Like it could be Tata McGraw-Hill series, it could be student edition series. So series of books should all be collated by a catalog. That is also an objective of a catalog. You know that 5 laws of Ranganathan, 5 laws of library science given by S.R. Ranganathan guide us in all library work, and Ranganathan has tried to define the objectives of a library catalog from his 5 laws also. That means he says that a library catalog should disclose to every reader his or her document. It should secure for every document its reader. It should save the time of the reader and also save the time of the staff. Similarly, Lubetsky has also given the objectives of a library catalog. He says a library catalog should help to locate a particular publication, a particular edition of a work which is available in the library quickly. Again, what Ranganathan said, that in the least possible time it should help. Lubetsky also says that it should display the relevant and related documents of a given author. So when you talk of a catalog describes the holdings of a library, and we have said earlier these holdings could be of varied nature. It could be books, periodicals, theses, manuscripts, and the information of these holdings is, what is the information? It is 2 types of information: bibliographic information, subject information. Bibliographic information describes a particular document, like I said, author, title, edition, editor, translator, reviser. So different pages, size, such bibliographical information and subject information, you may be able to locate that document from these different points of view. So what we have discussed today is that we started with a catalog. We discussed this catalog is used in different walks of life by different people, and it is because they want to inform their users, their clientele about the things that they have, what are the characteristics of these things, so that they are able to choose and pick those things for use. Similarly, it is there in a library also. It is called a library catalog. We have discussed the purpose of a library catalog. We have discussed the purpose given by different authorities. We have also seen what information does a library catalog hold. We will be discussing further a library catalog, its different characteristics, types, nature, properties in our further sessions. Thank you.